Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode here. I am joined by Andi from Brunch Broth Bloom. She is a fantastic entrepreneur in the Prescott area. She is part of the Strategic Networking Partners group, and she is just absolute gem, has an amazing restaurant business, just delivering great food, great service. And I am so thankful for your time today. I know I pulled you out of the kitchen yourself doing some hard work. Thank you so much for your time for being here today.
No problem.
So let's just dive right into it. What experiences or influences in your life have shaped your values as a business owner?
I had kind of a hard life growing up. My mom struggled with addiction. My dad had struggled with addiction. I was bounced around from house to house, family member to family member. I moved out when I was 12 and was basically on my own since then. And I just wanted to be better and do something for the community and something just be better that I grew up with.
And what have you brought from those early experiences into your business?
Compassion. Like I have my giving wall where a previous customer can pay for a ticket for another person. We put the tickets on the wall and then they can get a meal. Anyone can get a free meal that needs one. If you're having a hard day, if you're a veteran, if you're homeless, you just need a meal, come in and get one. So it's a lot of compassion for other people that really I strive on.
That's super awesome to hear. With compassion being so at the forefront of your business model, talk to us a little bit about what success looks like for you, both personally and professionally.
Personally, I just want this restaurant I don't even want to get rich from it. I just want to keep the lights on and keep the doors open and be able to serve the food and serve the community. And I just need people in here to be able to keep going, that's all I can say is that's what I need. Success is just keeping the lights on, keeping the restaurant going.
I love your compassion and helping others and wanting to see everybody being taken care of. But is there another reason, like why that you want to keep the lights on, like why you want this thing to be open? Like what's the drive, motivation behind the whole thing?
I really enjoy cooking and I enjoy feeding people. I've done that my whole life since I was a little bitty kid. I always cooked and I just wanted to cook for other people. And that's just what I do. That's what I'm good at.
Awesome. And I imagine you get a lot of personal satisfaction from being able to feed and take care of people that way.
Yeah, but like today I'm making soup because I had to let a couple people go. And so I'm in there making the soup and prepping and doing all this stuff. And I'm loving it. I'm just like in there with my music and prepping and making soup.
Awesome. And how do you balance your personal life with the demands of your business?
I don't even know. I have 3 boys at home. 2 are adults and one's an 11-year-old boy. And I homeschool him. So I'm here during the day when he's supposed to be doing school. So we end up doing school at night. Or my friend who also lives with me, she'll homeschool him for me with her boys. So balancing that's hard. And then balancing, life in general, like going out and doing something besides being at the restaurant is not something I do a lot. I'm either at the grocery store or I'm at the restaurant all the time.
How do you enjoy homeschooling?
I really like homeschooling. It's been better for my child. He's autistic and ADHD, so he was not doing well in school. So he's really thriving in homeschool.
That's amazing. I love to hear that. Tell me a little bit about your origin story. Where did Brunch Broth Bloom come from, and what inspired you to start this business?
Okay, so one day, I had weight loss surgery and I made a lot of soups for that. That's all I could eat. So I started making them and people would try them and they're like, you should sell your soup. And I was like, no, I'm not going to sell my soup. That's crazy, And I was like, thinking about it, I'm like, my soup is really good. I could probably make a lot of money on it. So that's kind of where the idea started. And then I had a fiance who started this with me. We started in January of 2024. He talked me into the business, selling it, selling my soup, getting a restaurant, getting a brick and mortar. And so we started looking and in January we got the keys and we worked so hard for 7 months. Every day in here, 16 hours a day. There was nothing here. There was no plumbing, no electric, no toilets. There was nothing here. And we just worked every day, 16 hours a day to get it done. We opened on July 1st of last year, so we're coming up on a year. And then a month later, he decided to end his own life, and he left me to do it by myself. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this restaurant to stay afloat by myself. But it started out with him talking me into it, getting it ready, and then him leaving, and now here I am doing it.
And it sounds like you've had to deal with a lot more than somebody's normal fair share of tragic events happening in your life. How do
Yeah.
you find the motivation to keep doing what you're doing with a smile on your face?
First, it's my kids. I want to leave something to them, hopefully, if something ever was to happen to me. I want to leave my legacy. My grandfather, he had a bunch of businesses down in Phoenix, and I kind of want to be like him. I don't want to open any more businesses because this is hard. I just want to keep this one open and just let it succeed and let it, take care of me and my family. I don't want to be rich on it, but I just want to be able to pay the bills and pay my own personal bills too with it,
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you've touched on a lot of different challenges so far, but let's categorize and log some of those early challenges that you faced starting this business last year, and how did you overcome each of them?
So, first we started off with a smaller building on the square. And there was, no kitchen in there, and it was just going to take way too much work to get it going. And then the rent was astronomical, being right on the square. So we ended up finding somebody who knew about this place that we're in now. And he got us in here with a year's free rent because we did all the work. So
Oh, wow.
free rent, all the work, I ended up paying a lot more than I got in rent, but it worked. I didn't have to pay rent the first year. So then, getting in here and not having anything but the hood, the kitchen hood, without even any fire suppressant. So that was a challenge. And then getting all the permits to do everything, getting all the clearances from fire and health department and all that stuff. Just, there was roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, just everything. Because we wanted to originally open in March. And then it just kept giving us problems. Every step we took 3 steps back every time. And then we finally opened in July. And it wasn't as busy as we thought we were going to be. So, all that money I put in wasn't coming back. And we were struggling to even stay open the first couple of weeks, getting groceries and all that stuff. And then, him passing away, that was my next biggest struggle. But with that, he said he was paying taxes. He wasn't paying taxes, and I didn't know about it. So then I got set back on that. There's just been problem after problem, but I'm strong, and I'm trying to just take it one step at a time and get through it.
It sounds like you're more than strong. It sounds like you're made of titanium.
Sometimes, I don't know. I don't know how I do it sometimes, but I just do it.
That's super inspirational to hear how much grit and determination that you've had and going and taking on those challenges, even though you didn't know they were even coming at you. You've taken them all on and you're still fighting. I think there's a lot of inspiration that other entrepreneurs can take from this story, because everybody thinks that their life is hard, but it sounds like your life has been a lot harder than most. For sure.
Pretty rough.
I think that we can all take some comfort knowing that, our problems sometimes are really not as big as we think they are. So if you could go back to day one of your business and do something differently, what advice would you give yourself a year later, like looking back 1 year, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't put all my trust into one person. That's my biggest thing, because he had everything. He had my passwords to my POS system. I didn't have those. He had all the stuff that we did as far as the fire suppression and the permits and everything. That was all under him. So I had to go through a lot of hoops to get his name off and my name on to be able to even do anything for my own business. Thankfully, I put everything in my name because I had the funds, so I was able to do all that. But I had to wait for his death certificate. I had to wait for all this stuff in order to get on my own programs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's super helpful. Putting the incident aside, there are other incidences that could happen, like somebody could die in a car crash, right? Your business partner could die in a car crash. They could have a heart attack. There are other instances that would happen that would preclude this kind of event.
Right. So just stay in the loop of everything. That's what I would say.
Stay in the loop of everything, and make sure if you're going to have a business jointly with somebody that you both are on all the paperwork, making sure that you both are on all the paperwork. So just to have that insurance, so the business at least can continue in case of catastrophe. I think that's super solid and not something that people usually think about when they're starting business. So very helpful. So let's talk a little bit about your current business model right now. You have a restaurant. Tell us a little bit about the restaurant.
It's a cute little farmhouse inspired. It used to be a house. It's one of the oldest houses in Prescott. So I'm told we're part of the Historical Society. First it was a house, then it was a duplex, then it was the info shop, and then it was going to be a Chinese restaurant, and then we took it over. And we just turned it into this beautiful little farmhouse-inspired restaurant. It's got Highland cows because I love them and they're my favorite animal. So I have them decorated everywhere. We serve breakfast, like a full country breakfast, biscuits and gravy, country fried beef, you know, the classic eggs and bacon, soups, sandwiches, salads, and burgers. My soups are my passion. I love my soups. So, like, I push those a lot. And it's just a place where people can come together and talk and enjoy their time and have a good lunch or breakfast.
I love it. What's kind of what are your top three bestseller meals that you sell?
Our half sandwich and cup of soup combo is a big seller. Breakfast is, I would say, either our biscuits and gravy or our country fried beef avocado toast. People love all those. Salads, our Asian salad's pretty good. And then our soup is our lumberjack stew is one of everybody's favorites, but we do a loaded potato, a sausage zupa, a vegetable, and we also offer gluten-free. All my soups are gluten-free. We have gluten-free breads and buns for burgers and sandwiches.
Yeah, I was just to say, my wife and I have been to Brunch Broth and Bloom, and we had the country fried steak and a side of the pancakes, and that was amazing. You have some amazing pancakes. You have amazing beef. Like that was, it was super special. And I can attest that your decor, how you created your space is very warm, inviting, and we had a great time and it was a great experience. So what who would be your best customer? Like who are your best customers that come in on a regular basis? What do they look like? Do they have kind of a similar profile pattern?
Our best customers seem to be the older ladies that come in with to come have lunch with their girlfriend. Older couples, the ladies and older men. The ladies drag their grumpy old husbands in there. And then they try it, they love it. But they're like, it's too cute in here, I don't like it, and then they try it and they love it. And they come back. It's just mainly older ladies and girlfriends, and we have a bunch of groups that come in every other week or so too. Everybody loves us, even younger couples.
I love that. I think I get attest to that myself. Like again, it was such a great experience to go and be surrounded by your decor, and the food was top notch. So, can you share like what was an impactful, maybe one or two impactful stories that you had from customers that had a great experience with you? Can you share maybe a couple stories?
Okay, so we have one. She was a homeless lady named Nikki, and I posted this on my Facebook too. So if anybody wants to read the full story, it's on there. But she would come in the beginning and get the free meal, and she loved it, and she would keep coming back. And then she was like, you know what? I can't just sit here and eat for free. I need to do something to pay for my meal. And I was like, no, Nikki, that's what this is for. Customers have paid for this. And she's like, no, I need to sweep. I need to wipe your tables. I need to clean your patio. So I was like, you know what? If it'll make you feel better and you really want to do that, you can do that. And I gave her a rag and a bucket of water and bleach, and she scrubbed the heck out of our tables, and they haven't looked better. So she's just like, homeless, doesn't have anything, wants to eat, but doesn't want to not pay for it or not do something in return for it. And I really appreciated that. I mean, it's there because for that reason, for people to eat, but it's really nice to see when people, even if they have nothing, they still want to give back. So that was one story that I'll never forget. And then she did that for like a month straight. She came and swept our patio and would wipe our tables and tell us she'd try to seat people. And we're like, okay, Nikki, you can't seat people because we need to do that. But she was very helpful and she was super sweet and kind. And then another story, probably another homeless person story. He does the same thing. There's another guy that he'll come in and get a meal. He was really grouchy and like cranky and rude and just a grump. And I was like, hey, you're getting your meal for free. We want to feed you. Can you smile? And he just got the biggest smile on his face. And I loved that.
I love that. So your stories are all around helping the people in the community that need a helping hand. And I think that's rare in today's day and age where we kind of look over those that are in need a little bit. And I love how you still offer that to a group of people that still need that help. So I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's talk. I know you've already said that your business, you want to survive, you want it to pay for yourself, but like If you had a magic wand and you could make anything happen over the next 3 to 5 years for your business, and it was for sure going to happen, what would you use that magic wand for?
Would be to pay off the taxes that I owe, because that's what's weighing me down. That's the biggest thing, because I didn't know I had to pay those because I thought they were already paid. And so it's just been a big hit. That and just getting more people in here. Because, there's days where I'm paying more in labor than I'm making in sales. And that just can't happen. I won't be able to stay open if that happens. So I would wave that magic wand to just get all of the people in here and have them eat and be merry.
Let's talk a little bit too, since it sounds like customer outreach is something that you need help with. How do you currently attract customers? Like, what kind of marketing efforts are you currently using right now?
Mainly it's Facebook. I post on Facebook almost daily. I have been on the radio. I'm going to be in the July issue of Hometown Values. People come in all the time and they're like, I do this publication and I want to put you in there. So I get in there. I'm all over the place. I don't know why it doesn't reach as many people as it needs to.
Your best customers are older ladies, older women. Where else could you be putting your business profile in front of them?
I've been in Prescott Women's Magazine. I've been in Southwest Prescott. So, plus I hand out flyers. I send my crew to the square all the time. I try to do everything I can without having to pay because I don't have the money to pay for advertising.
Got it. I think this is a very common struggle, especially with businesses that are, first couple of years, is getting and attracting their ideal customers. And marketing is a touchy subject because it's one of those things where it's hard to see the dollars go out and nothing come back in. So I definitely empathize with your position and how that's a real concern. And what I found to be helpful is being very clear about who your offers are for. Like, talk to me a little bit about it, your offer stack of do you offer, like you said, you had a soup and salad or a soup and a sandwich combo meal. Is there a particular type of sandwich that maybe the community likes, or your older women community likes better than anything else?
People love that half sandwich and soup. And in that Hometown Values magazine, I put in there a special for the half sandwich and soup for $11.50. So that's going to be a special coming up in July. And then I put specials out all the time. On Facebook, I put it on our board. I put it wherever I possibly can.
How many people do you follow you on Facebook?
Almost 1,900.
1,900 people. Man, that's awesome. Talk to me. I think too, from the S&P, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you do some collaboration efforts with some other local businesses?
Yeah, but right now, every Sunday in June, we've been doing it with Connect Coffee, that little coffee truck that's part of S&P with Michelle. She's been coming on Sundays, and that's been a huge help. We've been doing great on Sundays. And we've been talking about maybe doing Wednesdays too. And the ice guy, the water company guy, he delivers my ice. So, we help each other out that way. I'm always willing to collaborate with anybody, but I'm the only restaurant in there. So there's not much I can do with realtors and stuff, unless I feed them lunch or cater for them. And I've done a couple of those too. Like I catered for Score, and I do breakfast there a lot for the S&P group.
Yeah, I will say too that your burritos, we're still eating those burritos and they are fantastic. They're a great way that we could save tons of time and feed our family on the go. So that was a huge help. So let's hit that a little bit more. You said Sundays are a great day because you do that collaboration with the coffee truck.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it a great day?
I think just her following the people that come in for her also come in and eat breakfast for us, So, and then my people that usually eat breakfast on Sundays will get coffee from her. So it's helping both of us out. We're getting a lot more people. She's posting on her Facebook, I'm posting on mine. So people are showing up.
That's awesome. And to your revenue on those days, how does it compare with your other days?
It's about 75% more most of the time than we normally get.
Wow. Well, it sounds like you definitely need to do more of those events. Sounds like that's what you need to do, right? That's awesome.
Yeah. I asked her, I was like, you should come every day.
No, I think you're on the right track. I think you're doing all the right things. You're on the right track. You have a solid base, and I hope and pray that this podcast will reach many more ears because you are a story and a business owner in the Prescott area that is worth highlighting. And your heart and your passion for what you do and feeding people is genuine. And I think it's so rare to see a people first business. And that's what I hope and my prayers are, that this reaches more people to make an impact for you personally, so you can continue to have an impact on the community. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is all about.
And I thank you for that. And thank you for this.
Yeah, this is my pleasure for sure. So I'm going to end with a couple more questions, and then we'll kind of wrap this up a little bit. But if resources were unlimited, you had a blank checkbook, what would you invest in to grow your business?
First of all, high chairs for our kiddos because ours are falling apart. That would be my biggest thing. I would invest in a better patio situation because our tables, like, I got them on the fly. I got them used from a Dillard's, and they're starting to show wear, and, you know, like, I need to make my patio look a little better. And then I would just invest in, like we struggle with getting groceries in here every week. So I would make sure that I have groceries every week and I'm not out of things, because that's hard on business too, is when you're out of things that people came in for, you know, they wanted that and then they don't get it and they're not happy. So then they post bad reviews and stuff. So I would make sure groceries are good, and I would make sure my payroll account's good, because my employees, they're all awesome and amazing and they deserve to be paid. But there's some weeks where I'm just like, sorry guys, you can't cash your check till tomorrow or something, you know, and they're all understanding, and I'm so thankful for that. But I hate doing that because they deserve their money.
I love how, again, you're just people focused, and you're in the struggle, you're in the fight. It's real. Being an entrepreneur is hard, and it's being able to navigate these challenges that makes it special, right? This is why most people are not doing what you're doing. I think that hopefully if there's any encouragement that you can take out of this, is that you are seen and you are heard. And I think you have an amazing business. I think you have an amazing heart, and we wish for you nothing but success. So again, if anybody is watching this podcast right now, please check out Brunch Broth and Bloom. They are in Prescott. All their links will be in the description below in this video. So please, please, please check them out, spread the word, and go see for yourself the amazing service that Andi and her team and her staff provides over at Brunch Broth and Bloom. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
With that, is there any last bit of wisdom that you want to leave for entrepreneurs in the next generation?
As hard as it is, I would still say follow your dreams. If you have a dream of doing something like this, go for it. It's hard, but it's worth it.
Follow your dreams. There you have it. Everybody, thank you very much for your time. Andi, I appreciate you, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you.